Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. So in this video, I want to pose this question to all of you Elm Street and horror fans out there. What is your complete story when it comes to the Elm Street franchise? Now, a few months ago, I had done a similar video where I asked the same question in regards to the Halloween franchise. Now, you guys know me. I am a Halloween purist. So at the end of the day, Halloween from 1978 is not only my favorite horror movie of all time, but it was supposed to be a one-off, right? We know that. And you can watch the original from 1978 as a one and done, and that's it. However, Halloween 2 from 1981 is my second favorite in the franchise. I think it's the best sequel in the franchise for a variety of reasons. One of them being, of course, that it picks up immediately where the first one left off, So it feels like, this nice 1-2 punch, you know what I mean? Like one movie with two separate parts. And that ending is sort of a positive ending because you have Laurie Strode, who's taken off in an ambulance over to the next town, maybe to the next hospital to get the help that she needs. You have Michael Myers burning on the hospital floor. It definitely a satisfying ending. However, if you want more of an uncertain ending and a more evil never dies ending and a full circle kind of ending, you can take it to Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, with Jamie Lloyd in the clown costume standing at the top of the stairs with the scissors in her hands and Dr. Loomis ready to fucking blow her away. No! You know what I mean? And Meeker comes in and stops. He was fucking ready to kill her. He's ready to kill her because he knew it was happening again. It came full circle. There she is, the top of the stairs. Oh my God. Holy shit, what's going to happen? Cut to black. Roll credits. That's it. That is it. Can you imagine? That's it. No more Halloween movies, no more story. That is it. Evil wins. Oh my God. Incredible. I call that the Loomis trilogy. And I talked about that in a video a few months back. But what about the Elm Street franchise? What about Freddy Krueger? Now, Freddy Krueger, the foundation for which the character and the franchise was built, is not resting on the same kind of foundation as Michael Myers and Halloween. So Freddy, the reliance on ambiguity and mystique and, all that kind of stuff is although there should still be some there. And they definitely got away from that in the later sequels. It's not the same kind of thing. You have a little more leeway with Freddy. When it comes to the Elm Street franchise, the complete story to me, I think a nice complete story. Again, you could just take the first one and, leave it at that. But in terms of franchise we're talking about here, right? The complete story to me is 1, 2, and 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street from 84, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge from 1985, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors from 1987. Now, you could remove 2 from the equation and just have 1 and 3 as the complete story because they are, 3 for all intents and purposes is a direct sequel to the original because A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 isn't even acknowledged. Nobody cares about it. It's the black sheep of the family, absolutely. But I include it in here because Nancy obviously is referenced in part 2. It's the same house. So, you have no trouble believing that these events actually happened. And for goodness sakes, it is the scariest Freddy, period. It is the best makeup, period. The soundtrack is fantastic. Yeah, they play a little fast and loose with some of the nightmare rules, but it's just, I think it is really underrated. I think it's scary and it's frightening and the visual effects are fantastic. And I just would not want to ever pretend that Freddy doesn't exist. In terms of, a complete kind of franchise in the original, taking a look at the original series. If they were to go off and make a legacy sequel where they said part 2 doesn't exist and we're just doing a direct sequel to part 1, okay, I can live with that. But in terms of, this video, I don't want to take it out of the equation. So, and I think the ending of Elm Street 3 is fantastic because at the end of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, it ends on a mature note. Okay. And this is what I like about this. And this is why I say the end of 3 rather, although the ending of 4, when you just see his reflection in the pond or in the fountain there is not bad either. It's not bad either. But I much prefer this because this wraps up the story of Nancy and wraps up the story of John Saxon's character and all that kind of stuff. And it feels more right to me. And so when Neil is lying in bed and he's curled up, he's got the covers right up to his chin. Oh, it's a little chilly, and he's Freddy's lying there, and then you have the, the popsicle stick, paper mache, whatever it is, Elm Street house, and just the light turns on. And I think that's Nancy's bedroom, if I'm not mistaken. And some people have speculated that it's Nancy from the dream world, from the afterlife, turning on her bedroom light as a sign that, she's now watching over Neil's dreams. Kind of cool, kind of fascinating, right? Obviously, you can also take it, a 180 and go, well, maybe it's Freddy, and he's done that. And it's supposed to be ambiguous, and I like that. But just the light turning on, cuts to black, roll credits, Dream Warriors starts playing. I like that. At the end of part 1, we have Freddy, his arm comes out, right, grabs the mother, pulls her into the house. We actually see Freddy's arm. At the end of part 2, his glove bursts out of the girl's chest and off goes, the bus. But at the end of part 3, we don't see Freddy. It is much more mature. It's much more nuanced. It feels, I like it. I like how eerie and mysterious and kind of like, ooh, what does that mean? Is that Nancy? Is that Freddy? Interesting. We don't need any more because the story is complete. Freddy's, he's been buried now. Saxon is gone. Nancy's gone. It feels complete. It does feel complete. So for me, that's what I would look at as the complete story of the Elm Street franchise. When I look at the Elm Street franchise as a whole, this is no secret, I've said this many times, that if I was to do a ranking, and I usually leave New Nightmare off my list. I actually really like it, but I always leave New Nightmare off the list when I'm ranking the original franchise because of the kind of movie it is. I never see it as part of the franchise. I mean, it is part of the franchise, but I never see it as part of the core franchise because it's a self-aware meta fictionalized version of everybody. Like it feels like its own thing. So if I was ranking the core original 6, I would rank them in order. I mean, they get, they get really bad. Like there's a sharp drop off, by the time you get to 5 and 6. But I would rank them in order, and I always have. My favorite is the original. My second favorite is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And then my third would be Elm Street 3, and then The Dream Master. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of see it. The Dream Master has grown on me a bit over the years. I mean, it's definitely MTV Freddy. We're in that realm now. It's Carnival Barker Freddy, absolutely 100%. And you have to take it at that face value. But Rennie Harlan did some really nice things in that movie, and it's got one of my favorite dream sequences out of any of the Elm Street films, and that is when Alice is sucked into the movie screen, right? And the popcorn begins. It's very surreal, and it's just such a great dream sequence. I really like that. So the Dream Master has grown on me a bit over the years. But for the purposes of like a complete story, I would definitely go 1, 2, 3. That's the complete story for me when it comes to the Elm Street franchise. So in other words, if I was going to watch Elm Street movies, I'd probably watch those 3, right? And then not necessarily go on to 4. When I watch the Halloween franchise, or if I start watching any movies beyond 1, it's always 2, because 2 is my favorite Halloween sequel. I think it's the best one in the franchise. And then if I wanted to go beyond that, I go to 4. And I never go past 4. I don't like 5. I don't like 6. I don't really like H2O. I don't like Resurrection. So why would I bother watching them on the regular, right? I mean, they have redeeming qualities like every movie does. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. So with Halloween, it's 1, 2, and 4. For Elm Street, it's 1, 2, 3. So I pose the question to all of you. What is your complete story when it comes to the Elm Street franchise, right? When you think of a nice, tight-knit story that feels right? That feels right. What is the complete story for you for the Elm Street franchise? For me, it's 1, 2, and 3. Anyways, folks, my name's Dave McRae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. I would like to know, how do you see it? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Are there certain things that you're kind of like, oh, what about this or whatever? Jump into the comment section below and let me know. I would love to know. If you want to follow me on social media, you can. There are my links right there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. That's going to do it for me. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.